Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of June 26th through July 2nd of 2017. Here we are, headed into July, and as promised already, I don't want to say the energies are subsiding, but we don't have as much going on. June was a very hectic month with energies, and August will be as well. August is going to be a real game changer. But as we go into July, we kind of get a little break from it and things ease up just a little bit. All right, as we enter this week, you're in that time period now, that whole transitional thing that we've been talking about, and there are decisions which need to be made. Your entire life is being reborn, and as you do this, they keep saying it's not all in one day. It doesn't happen all at one time. There's a lot of prioritizing that's taking place. Okay, as you figure things out, you weigh them very carefully and try to keep things, I just want to say, like, even keeled. Just like July is going to be trying to keep things settled. There are going to be moments this week where you see that you're actually making progress, like communications that come your way perhaps, which show that they're leading you away from the hard times. This brings forth more thought on your part, okay? And I have a feeling that it's because sometimes life kind of takes you with it rather than you being totally in control of it. It's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing. You might be being led in directions that you did not previously consider, and you need to stop, you need to contemplate this, and you need to look it over, and don't just say, no, I don't want that. Look at the merits of what is being offered by the universe or by another individual, whatever the case may be. This is part of your vision of creation, what you're hoping to do, and the time has come to really stand up and take charge of things. You're headed in an extremely positive direction. This week, I really believe, runs the gamut. Not so much in highs and lows, but maybe more like in starts and stops, that type of thing, with opportunities coming in and your assessment of them. Definitely seeing a door open this week. There's the possibility here that is phenomenal, but the key thing is you're paying attention, and if you're doing that, all right, see, it's like all that other stuff is over. It's all water under the bridge, everything that happened, and every once in a while it kind of comes up, not so much for review, but as a reminder of what you've been through, and you're past that now. But you start looking at the way your life has gone, the way it's been woven. I kind of call it the threads of life, that type of thing. So you really don't want to be dwelling on the things that were painful. It's almost like that if you could go stand outside in a pleasant, when the temperatures are pleasant and it's raining lightly, a pleasant rain that just washes it all away. Most of the time, none of us want to be standing in the rain. But this is that rain that's gentle and it feels good. The clouds part, the rain washes all the ickiness away, and there you have it. Okay? Something is coming your way this week. The only thing, and it's like everywhere here, the only thing that can stop you is you. Your lack of confidence or self-esteem with regard to it. Pay attention, because there is something, emerging. Emerging is a good word here, because it might not be present as the week starts, but it's happening, and it comes as an offer, but it also may feel as though it's a challenge to you. How to work it out, how to make it happen. For some reason, it doesn't feel like it's easy, like you're being handed a piece of cake, and dessert with a cherry on top. It's not like that. It's going to require, some form of, I want to say knowledge and guidance on your part. What it feels like is that you're looking for reassurance, because you've tried many paths in the past, and the timing just wasn't right, and the things you tried didn't work out. But now, I'm telling you, the timing is much better, and you are headed in a direction, whether you can see it or not. So it's finding that reassurance, whether you need for someone, to sit down and talk to you and say, yes, this is a good idea, you should do it, this is the direction that you should take, you're definitely capable of it, there's something going on here. And I really think that at this point, whatever it is, that you're the only one standing in your way, and getting past that mental doubt that you have is going to take you far. So this is an interesting time for you. It can represent new beginnings, and it feels good, Even if you're not dancing down the street, you may be dancing on the inside. Just really excited about the possibility of real change. And you've been looking for the right road or the right roads that put you in control, on the right track, to where you want to be in life. And I do think that this is one of those weeks where you locate one of those roads and you're on your way, because there's a great deal of clarity that can come through this current Neptune retrograde. Okay, and if you learn to use it to your advantage, not dwell on it too long, but use it to your advantage to sort of dissect what is going on where you haven't had clarity before, Neptune can help you, kind of unskew that reality that's been, because there it is. Yeah, it's kind of been daunting trying to figure these things out. So you are figuring out now how to proceed, how to go forward, how to move on. I still think that much of it happens late August, where whatever is in motion, whatever opportunities have come up, whatever doors are opening right now, that you're really seeing the changes coming about at that time. It doesn't happen in a day. I'd love to have a weekly that we do that says, on such and such a day, everybody's going to have this big phenomenal change. But we know that life doesn't work that way. But yet we can very much say that at certain times, everyone is going to experience change, if not for themselves, then through change of another. So your new identity, of which we keep speaking, is getting closer and closer. This is definitely not a time to think of giving up. This is a time to, stand up, pull out all the stops, remain determined, use all of your resources, and be willing to take a chance. Because these are fresh new roads. This is a part of life that the only way I can explain it is the way I've previously said it, is that no matter what your age is, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, this is different. This transition is going to change the basic schematics of your whole life. It could involve relationships, it could involve your job, it could involve where you live, but all things said and done, by the time you get to September, October, probably one or more of those things is going to be very different in your life. And when it arrives, you will welcome it, no matter what type of change it brought along the way. I think you'll be happy that it's here. It's rather nice that things have subsided this week. We'll use that word. That may not be an accurate enough one, but it gives you the opportunity to really take your focus and dig in and work on the details. I think that many of you out there have had things that you've been trying to do and they've kind of been off on the side, aware every day that you want to do them and trying every day to move in that direction. I think that's it. You're finally moving in that direction where you're able to give something greater attention than you were before, which is what will make it a success. And this is an awesome thing. Now, what's interesting to me is that, and I don't remember when we last had this conversation in a group type of setting where there were so many people listening, but one of the things that I've discussed is the actor Shamar Moore of soap opera and Criminal Minds fame, who is now working on a new series called SWAT, I think. And anyway, it premieres on November the 2nd. And that's a time frame which we're now focused on. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is that one of the things that I noticed is I would see Shamar's post coming up on the internet is that the direction and the things that were taking place in his life paralleled, unbelievably, the things that we have been discussing here. So he is such a good example. And I often tell people, and I even tell myself, if you are looking at your own life and wondering when, where, who, how, what's it going to be? See what someone else is doing. When someone else like Shamar can offer you specific dates when milestones in their life are occurring, then you go, oh, okay. Even if I can't see it now, I know that somewhere around November 2nd, when this role of a lifetime, when he's a lead character, comes up, I probably have something good going on in my life too. So, that's a way to look at it. And I think it definitely helps instead of always remaining focused on what has to do with just you. Because I find that people tend to get discouraged when they review their own problems, issues, scenarios, day in and day out. Step back, take a look at the rest of the world and see what's going on. And you'll be able to understand the patterns better. When you get too closed up in your own little world, you can't see it. And that's when you start having so many doubts about yourself and where you're headed. But if you can step back and you can see that, all these avenues, they're going to open up. And, this is a very good week. It's taking you in a positive direction. I know that there are people out there, they're probably not here, but there are people out there who are not taking a positive direction. And, that's going to become evident as well. I think that if August is that big turning point, we will really see in September, September, October, what their fate is. All right? Just because a lot happens by August doesn't mean that we exactly know just then. But the energies this year, they have been very breakout, okay? And when I look at the cards, there is this steady, unwavering commitment to something. Once you begin to put the details in place, you're probably looking at October, where you realize it's a success, okay? I have said previously that the full moon in September was going to be pretty interesting, where you start seeing what's going on because of all the change that's taking place in August. But this week itself, that breakout energy is available to you. Instead of all the struggles that you've had in recent years, what I see is an air of protection around you, okay? Now that you've overcome so much, you're starting to fortify your position. Do you feel 100% secure? Probably not, because I think some of those memories are still too fresh. I think give it a few months and you won't be thinking about it as much. But this week appears to start off having you contemplate how to move forward and not have these experiences again, like to really solidify things, because there's that base, and you were cheated out of too many things for too long. But things are definitely, even for some of you, some of the things that have happened, they've created health issues. And it's not to say that people will wind up being 100% healthy, but I think definitely the stamina to get through it all, to find improvements, to find remedies, to find help, it's available to you. Like finally, you're finding some help for whatever has been plaguing you. I'm telling you, this is a week of success, and you can be proud of yourself. Definitely a door opening, okay? And, that's just it. It's July. As you get into July, you're assessing what you've been working on, what you're accomplishing. Very interesting, because, there's that, there's endings and beginnings, all right? I want to say that your abundance comes in after the equinox, okay? Because as you're assessing what you're working on and all the effort that you're putting into it, I think as each day progresses now, you're going to find that not that it's effortless, but that it becomes easier to keep on plugging away and to keep on building and keep on fortifying. So you're really in a very positive time frame here. The After the equinox, that almost brings you into October. So let's just say October. Is that where your payout is? It feels good there. It really does. Like finally you can breathe, that type of thing. So you've accomplished something that really, you know, it's a good thing for you. It's having the patience, especially with one particular thing, with one particular situation. And I have to tell you, it's a very karmic one. You've been stalled in it for a while, and you've been trying to get it to go. And that's the one where I think by the time you get to the full moon in September, which is at the beginning, I think September the 6th, that you're starting to feel like patience with your plan has paid off. This is basically what you've been doing. I view it as remodeling your life. That's the plan. You know how like when you get one of those old fixer-upper houses and when you're all done with it, it looks totally different and everybody just gasps and goes, ooh, ah, and they're all looking and marveling at what you've created. And that's what you're doing with your life. And there may be people who come up to you by that time and say, wow, I remember when. And I have to give you a lot of credit for what you've done. So this week, you are right there. You're moving forward. You're taking direction. You're locating opportunities. And you're recognizing the fact that you are deserving of them, okay? Which seems to be a very important base to this reading. And if you are having any doubts, talk it over with anyone. You know, a mentor, a boss, a friend, a family member, a trusted confidant, someone who will be honest with you and reassure you that yes, this is all very positive and it's a good direction. And I think then you can proceed forward and just keep on going. You're getting away from all of it. It's amazing. I'm telling you, pretty soon you won't even think about any of it. But right now, that may be kind of what's, you know, hanging over your head a little bit, where you're like, you know, I just don't want this to turn out the way things turned out before. It's not. Here is where you have learned decisions and choices that are taking you to somewhere that's more emotionally pleasant and more pleasant across the board. So I want to thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you here again soon. Take care.